I'm going to ask you a really hard question. Why is it that you can brush your teeth twice a day, every single day for your entire life, but you can't call people to promote your business for 10 fucking minutes a day? I'm going to answer that question in this video, and I'm going to relate it to the three areas of your life that most people are trying to improve: health and wellness, relationships, and wealth building. And I use this analogy of habit forming, trying to make it as automatic as brushing your teeth, because it is an automatic. Now, for most people, it is. You're brushing your teeth every single day, twice a day. You're probably, if you have a really, really good hygiene routine, you're flossing, you may be doing some mouthwash, but if you add it up, if you really look at how long it takes you, it probably takes you about 10 minutes to do that, like 8 to 10 minutes. Some of you are 3 times a day. That's awesome. So think 10 minutes a day you're dedicating every single day without fail to this routine of brushing your teeth. And why do you do it? Why do you do it? Think about why you brush your teeth. Usually it's driven by the consequences of not doing it. If you don't brush your teeth, your breath will smell bad. You will have to go to the dentist likely and you'll have cavities. They'll yell at you. A lot of us don't like going to the dentist. I don't really know anybody who does. There's so many downsides to not brushing your teeth, not having a good hygiene routine. People making fun of you, having gum disease. I mean, this can cause cancer. That's why we do it. It's for the consequence, not necessarily the benefit of having good breath. Like, sure, that's part of it, but we're driven more by the consequence. If I don't do this, this is what's going to happen. And with a hygiene routine, it's black and white. Like, it's proven it's going to happen. I can make a bunch of different analogies. Like, if you smoke, if you drink, like, this is likely to occur over a long period of time. So let's talk about the areas of your life that you say you want to improve. You want better relationships. You want better health and fitness. You want to make more money. A lot of you who are listening to this want to start an online business and get out of your 9 to 5. And that's where it ends. You talk about it, but you're not doing the things that are required that you should be doing. And I'm not going to tell you what those things are. You know what you're supposed to do. You know you're supposed to brush your teeth. If you want better relationships, you know what you're supposed to be doing. If you want a better relationship with your partner, with your children, you know what you're supposed to be doing. You don't need me to tell you that. And I'm not going to tell you that. Okay. Because I'm not really a big believer in like, you should do this. You know what to do. If you want to lose weight, if you want to feel better, if you want better health and fitness overall, you know what you're supposed to be doing. And you're not doing it. If you want to start a business, if you want to scale your business, you know what you're supposed to be doing. Now, disclaimer, some of you don't know, but a lot of you do know, and you're not doing it. And this is the reason why you're not doing it, is because you have not attached the consequences of not doing it. If you don't work on the relationship with your partner that you want to improve, that you say you want to improve, and your children, if you have children, or just your family in general, eventually those relationships are going to worsen. And if it's with your partner, if it's with your spouse, then that could lead to a breakup if you're not working at it. Okay. And marriage isn't easy, it's hard. And sometimes you have to have those difficult conversations, right? But the effort, if you were to spend 10 minutes a day minimum working on your relationship to yourself, with your family, with your partner, with other people that you want to improve relationships with, they would get better, right? And you would avoid the consequence. And I want you to go through what those consequences are. If I don't do this thing that I know I'm supposed to be doing, if I don't work on this, what are the consequences? Okay. What is the gum disease? What is the teeth falling out? What is the bad breath? Like, equate that to the areas that you want to improve. If I don't work out, if I don't eat better, what are the long-term consequences? And write them out, because you know what they are. And you choose to still not stick with it. And when I talk about habits, stuff that moves the needle in your life every single day, I always look at, how can I make it as automatic as brushing my teeth? Because I don't even think about it. Like, it just happens. And I don't miss any days. And most of you don't miss any days. Now, you might only do it once per day, but for the most part, it's 365, 24/7 for your entire life that you're actually able to brush it as an adult. Now, some of you have kids. Yeah, sure, they don't brush their teeth. You got to remind them. But that's not the point here. As an adult, this is something that you're doing automatically. And you can create habits that can make drastic changes in your life, huge changes in your life, if done over a long period of time, and avoid consequences of not doing them simply by establishing a system or an environment where it becomes automatic for you. And I can just give you an example of how I do it for all three areas of my life that I want to improve, that most people want to improve. And I'll run through my routine real quick so that I do it, so that you understand how I do this, because just like you, I am challenged with it. I don't love working out. I don't love eating well. I don't necessarily, sometimes I neglect my relationships. I know that I could do a better job, but I understand what the consequences are if I don't do them. And in terms of my business, in terms of wealth building, if I don't do the things that I know that I should be doing every single day, then I am ultimately going to fail. I'm going to have less money. And that's not okay for me. That's not an option for me. And I've also gone down that path of what is the consequence of not doing this, of not taking the action, of not doing the required things. So when I wake up every single day, relationships, to myself, gratitude. First thing I do when I open my eyes up, it's automatic. I've developed that habit. I don't miss. It's as automatic as brushing my teeth, and it's simply because I'm focused and committed to it, and I've seen the long-term benefit of doing it. And if I don't do it, then I know that I'll regress, right? I'll go back to being a person who was playing the victim role for the majority of his life and living in the land of victimhood. And that's not something that I want. Then I wake up and I brush my teeth, right? I drink a glass of water, health and wellness right there, full glass of water, brush my teeth. And then I work out. And the reason that I'm able to work out consistently is because I set my environment up to do so. Number one, my toothbrush is downstairs in the basement. So I'm walking down there, and I'm also listening to my future statement. And if you don't know what a future statement is, it's me talking into my phone about what I want my life to look like, my ideal situation, right? And the first thing that I hear myself saying to me, it's me recording it to me, is I'm in the best shape of my life. And I listen to that every day. So it forces me to work out. I also have an accountability partner for health and fitness that I have to report to. So, and I also sleep in my workout clothes. So it's all waiting there for me. I literally have to walk by the gym in my basement to go back upstairs. So I've set my environment up to win. And the win is doing the workout when I don't want to do it. Now, I've knocked out two things right away: relationship to myself. health and wellness. Then I come upstairs and I start working and I write down my goals. Okay, this is wealth related. I write down my goals and my needle movers for the day. It's usually the same stuff every single day. And then I get to work. I start checking metrics, like I start measuring the KPIs in my business. I look at my Facebook ads, right, to see how they performed. I look at my DM conversations. I look at new sales. I just look at all that stuff and I start measuring it, like, how can I improve stuff? And then I get started on lead generation, because that is the number one thing that a business owner needs to be focused on, is generating leads. If you don't have leads, you don't have a business. So I spend the first 3 to 4 hours of my day generating leads, creating content, tweaking my ads, messaging people on Instagram. I DM all of my followers. I do it for 30 minutes every single day without fail. If I don't do it, then I don't have a business, and that's not okay for me. And so much more. I could lose my house. I can, lose my family. I can lose everything that I have if I don't do that. That's not okay for me. I've gone down the road of, these are the consequences of inaction, and that frightens me. So sometimes, like, fear is a great motivator in both directions. Like the fear of being alone, or the fear of having gum disease makes you brush your teeth, right? Well, maybe start looking at, instead of, hey, I'm scared to do this because I'm afraid what people think. I'm afraid to start my own business because I don't think I'm good enough. Like all these fear, well, flip it around. Like, what happens if you don't do it? Are you okay with being stuck in your 9 to 5 for the rest of your life? A lot of the people that I talk to are not okay with that. They don't want to end up like their parents, who worked their entire lives and retired with little or no money and were mentally burned out and drained. They don't want that. Missing their kids grow up. I seriously encourage you to think about this differently. Instead of, this is hard, I don't want to do this, I can't do this, and just all the excuses and all the limitations that you put on yourself, and that's all it is you putting the limitations on you. Think about, what does my life look like if I don't do this? If I don't work on my relationships every single day? If I don't work on my health and fitness every single day? If I don't work on my wealth building, my online business, or my business period, or my wealth and finances period, what are the consequences? What does my life look like? And it might, for many of you, some of you will not do this. I just know it to be true. You'll listen to this podcast episode, you'll watch this video, and you'll do nothing. It'll just be the same thing over and over again. And I understand that's probably an entire different video, but I understand why that happens. I really do. One day you'll be at the end of your rope. And I don't mean that like literally, but you'll be at the end of your rope. You will have had it enough. And then maybe you'll be ready to actually hear this message and take action. A lot of you will take action. A lot of you, this will hit home, because you're doing things every single day that are automatic. It's automatic. Some of it's good. Some of it's not good. Some of it's really bad. And y'all know what that is. Again, you don't need me to tell you what those things are. You know. Look at the consequences. And I do this because I truly believe that no matter where you are in your life, no matter how dire your situation is, no matter how bad you think it is, like you're just up against it, Like you don't see any way out. People have had it worse, and they've turned it around. People have had it worse than you, and they've turned it around. It's what you do moving forward that matters the most. Like your action, like the past doesn't matter. What happened yesterday or the however old you are, the decades previous to today, it's insignificant. It's over with. It can't be undone. It's what you do now that matters the most. Go out there and make your life great. You deserve it.